from his name. Now, if you say the word mango, 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 you don't get the taste of the mango. You'll always have to cut the mango and then cut it again and then chew into it, taste it, you get the juice, and it's delicious. But when you chant the holy name of the Lord over and over and over again, you begin to sense and feel the presence of Krishna. And that inner peace that I spoke of, that inner joy that I spoke of, that inner love that I spoke of becomes your joy, your love, your peace, your strength. So that you emanate it, you project it, you express it, and whoever comes near you feels it. So that dust that Krishna is talking, when you put it on your face, when you put it on your hands, that dust is transcendental and transformative, so that you become very Krishna conscious. And when you speak, people hear the difference between material type of speaking and spiritual type of speaking. When Srila Prabhupada would speak, we became transformed. We felt we couldn't think of anything but Krishna because it was so enlivening. His faith was so strong. And so we developed the important qualities of what? Faith. That is one of the qualities. Hope is another quality. Another quality is charity. Another quality is love. Another quality is humility. Another one is patience. If you don't have patience, you can't accomplish anything in this world. Your child, I mentioned, your children pull a temper tantrum. You have to stay peaceful. You can't whack your child across the head or smack it. You'll be called for or cited for child abuse, and your child will be taken away. So you have to be peaceful. You have to be calm. You have to be patient. So I said, patience, obedience to the principles that Krishna is enumerating or enunciating in the book of the Bhagavad Gita. And then courage. How do you get courage? How do you face your enemies, your difficulties? Krishna will give them to you because he's fearless. You will be fearless. Krishna says, in one who has unflinching devotional service to me, all the good qualities of me and the demigods become yours. So, you serve Krishna. You hear about him, you chant about him. Now, I've made these CDs that you'll see on the table. They are the books of Srila Prabhupada, which I narrate with music and some of them with sound effects. So, those of you who claim that you don't have time to read the books because there's just too much going on in your life, you drive your car, you can put these MP3s in your car, and if you travel for an hour to work or to your relatives or wherever you're going, you can hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, you can hear the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can hear the teachings of Queen Kunti, you can hear Sharanagati, how to surrender your life to Krishna, you can hear all of these different narrations. So you have no excuse anymore, I've taken it away from you. So, and I also have written a few books there, books on Krishna's pastimes. It reads like a modern novel, and if you absorb yourself in it, it's an ongoing meditation. And all you do is you read it, and you're in Krishna's life. I do not get much into philosophy there. Srila Prabhupada has a different book called Krishna, the Supreme Mystic, and that's the book where he gives the different pastimes along with the philosophy. I get a minimum of philosophy, a maximum of story, so that you and your children, your family, your husband, your wife can get absorbed in those wonderful stories of Krishna, so that they become second nature to you. And you can think about them. Some of the children, from my narration, children's Krishna book, that one little girl, she was 5 years old, she became addicted to it. She went to sleep listening to it. She heard it even in her sleep, it was playing. She'd wake up in the morning and play it. She would, on her way to school, she would play it, day and night. So it happened to be that I had a booth at Srila Prabhupada's festival day in Los Angeles. So her parents had a booth next to mine. And they told me that our daughter is addicted to this narration. I said, oh? And I looked at the little girl. She looked like a little Maharani, the way she was dressed, with all the earrings and the beautiful silk sari. And she was very, very restrained, very modest, very chaste. She's only 5 years old. So I said to her, do you know about Krishna? And she went like this. I said, can you tell me anything about Krishna? I figured she'd tell me a little about some of the pastimes. She says, yes. I said, well, what do you want to tell me? She says, what would you like to know? I says, okay, why don't you tell me a little about the pastime of Krishna killing Trinarvrita, the whirlwind demon. She says, all right, would you like me to tell it from the beginning, the middle, or the end? I said, you can tell it from the beginning. Well, she began the book. She had it all memorized. Every word. She went on for 10 minutes. I had to stop her. I didn't want to stop her. I said, this is amazing. I got a letter from another mother who told me her child also got addicted. It has music, sound effects, and it appeals to the children's imagination. Children see everything on TV now. It's all with the eyes. They don't get a chance to imagine. This will help them to develop their creative faculty of imagination. So, for those of you who are mothers, fathers, do your child a favor, let them hear it. You'll enjoy it too. I like it better than the adults version of the book, only because it has more what we call production values, more sound effects. For example, when Lord Nrsimha roars, you're going to hear a real lion roaring. I use actual sound effects. Okay? So you'll enjoy it very much. And so many of them are done with multiple voice characterizations. By Krishna's grace, I can imitate many voices, children's voices, adult voices, foreign voices, you name it, I can do it. So I used it in service. It was much better than getting actors to come to the rehearsals or come to do the gig, as we say, and not showing up. They would not show up. So I said, well, I'll do it all. I'll do it, and therefore it'll all get done. So I knew I was going to show up. So, everybody has excuses, they have things to do. So I'm going to end this by telling you one story, very important one. And it's all about pride. Pride is our biggest enemy. Pride meaning, I'm great, I'm wonderful. As I said, we came into this world for what reason? To be a Lord. Right? And close the door in the back, please. Yeah, please, somebody should stand guard over the door, because all the noise is coming in. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, because this is a very important story. Pride goes before the fall. It goes before our downfall. If you're wondering why you're having problems or difficulties or tribulations or problems, usually pride. You think you're so great, somebody insulted you, somebody disrespected you, and you feel crushed or you feel down. Okay, here's the story, so please listen attentively. There was a Brahmin priest. There was a Brahmin priest, and he was very much eager to speak in such a way that he could bring tears to the eyes of his audience. He wanted to touch their hearts and move them so that he could feel, yes, I have great spiritual moves. So one day, what happened? One day what happened? I hope I get through this story. Please, the door closed. One day, he was giving a talk like this. And there was a woman sitting, I should mention, the Brahmin. He had a little beard, like a goatee. And he had long hair. And he had a habit of doing like this. Every few minutes he would then nod his head like this. So when he would do that, there was a woman in the front who, every time he nodded like this, she would burst into tears. And as he was narrating and he was speaking, he was wondering, I am fulfilling my desire. I am bringing tears of bhakti, of devotion, of love to this lady's eyes. At least one person has now become my devotee. So again, he's talking about Krishna, and he's talking about Radha, and he's talking, and again he's doing like this every few minutes, and every time he's doing like this, and she's bursting into tears of lamentations. Finally, the lecture ended, and everybody got out, and everybody left, and she's still sitting there. And every time he's still doing like this, he had a habit, nervous tick, she bursts into tears. He says, my dear man, he says, why are you crying? What did I say that made you cry the way you did? What were the words? Because I want to deepen that principle, whatever it was that caused you express your loving feelings. She said, what did you say? He says, yeah, what did I say? She said, you did not do anything you said. Nothing I said. And what was it? She says, every time you went like this, you reminded me of something. I said, what did you remind me? She said, well, I have a pet goat. And the goat died yesterday. And the goat used to go like this. So every time you did like this with your head, it just made me think of my pet goat. And I just couldn't stop crying. Don't do that anymore. So he said, I look like a goat? She said, yes. He says, there went his pride. He was crushed. He felt small. He felt insignificant. And all his dreams of being the great preacher were washed away, and he had to come to a position of humility. And he realized that to become a potent preacher with a powerful presence, with a loving presence, he has to stop loving himself, stop wanting adoration, distinction, glorification, applause from anyone else, but rather give it back to Krishna. And by giving applause, giving adoration, giving love, as Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, do this as an offering unto me. If you do that, you will acquire the spiritual potency that will enable you to truly touch people's hearts, because you will be manifesting my potency, which can bring tears of ecstasy and love to everyone. So, does anyone have a particular, we're getting late. I'll answer one question. If anyone has such a question, please ask it at this time.